Hey, what's going on, everybody? I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School. I had to come in today because I wanted to tell you guys about this case that really disturbed me. This situation that occurred apparently in Kansas, and I think it's the kind of thing that Black people should know about. And I want to do my part in making sure that everybody's aware of this situation. I'm going to give you guys a chance to come into the conversation and pretty much allow you to get used to the interface and kind of look around. I hope that you will tell people about this case. I hope that you'll share this video. Hey DJ Darkside, hey Jim Bria Brown, how are you? Hey Jeremy, how are you? Let's see who's it. Andre Patterson, Tina Jackson, Eric Jackson, etc. Hello everybody. Please hit the thumbs up button. I'm gonna while you guys do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this link out. I'm going to send out the SOS, the bat signal, to all the intelligent Black people out here who actually give a damn. And some of y'all give more than one damn. You give several dams. I'm going to let them know what's going on so they can join into the discussion, because this is kind of a red alert situation. And it's just the case I think everybody needs to know about. So if you want to get text alerts when we send out our notifications to let you guys know when we go live, please text the word Boyce to 31996. It's important to get on the text alert list because YouTube does not always send out alerts. Facebook doesn't either. I have 80,000 people on my Facebook page, and they send alerts out to maybe 100 or something ridiculous. It's kind of annoying. And so if you want to be notified when we go live, if you want to know when we're talking about important issues in the Black community, please text the word Boyce to 31996, and you can be on the list. Hey Brenda, how are you? Hey Dula, good to see you. Patricia, Freddie, good to see everybody. And also, as we get started, go ahead and state out your city, your business, and your dream. Your city, your business, and your dream. You can state one of the three, two of the three, or all of the three. State your dreams out loud so your dreams will come true. And also work for those dreams. You can't just talk about it, you got to be about it. So state your city, your dream, and your business. And also your business, you want people to know about your business so that you have potential customers. You never know who in this special space that we live is doing the same thing. And so it's very important for all intelligent, progressive Black people who want to do better, who want to uplift, to know about each other and to know what everybody else is doing. So I'm sending this out. I'm almost done sending out the text notifications. I really felt like I had to do this because this case really bothers me. And it's really the kind of thing that everybody needs to talk about. Now, tell me if you've heard anything about the case of Mr. Albert Wilson. If you know about the case of Albert Wilson, just let me know if you've heard anything about it, or if you live in Kansas or something like that. And so while you do that, I'm going to look and see here who's Kim is from South Bend. Dual Victory, how are you? Good to see you again, sister. Queer Huddle is Atlanta Sports Network owner, educator. I love that. Let's see. Darlene says no. Tyrell says hello. What's up, doctor? I see from Los Angeles we got a Charles from LA. Renew 360. That's Ayana. Hot Hair Bows, Maryland. That's an interesting name. I like that name. Okay, so let me just kind of give you guys the let's see. Boother Jr. says I am banned. I don't know what you're banned from. You're not banned from my channel, obviously, because you're here. Whatever you're banned from, if I can help you, then let me know if I can help you. Okay, so this case of Albert Wilson really it got to my desk because someone sent it to me. One of our team members sent it over to me. And they said, you need to see this case. And I said, okay, so, what's going on? And it turns out that there's a brother who is a college student. And Albert he lives in Kansas. And he did what a lot of college students do. He went out and met a girl. And the girl happened to be a white girl. And this white girl claims that after they went back together to his apartment, she's saying he raped me. And the thing about the rape that was really interesting to me, the thing that really, I mean, rape is always bad. You always want to know, like, what's the evidence, what's going on with this situation. But while rape is always bad, some situations just make you just shake your head because you don't understand what's going on. And what really got me about this particular case was they did not have sex. They didn't have intercourse. They had no sex at all. And I was like, well, did he force her, to do something inappropriate? Like, did he, because you can still rape somebody without putting your penis into their vagina, or or into a hole, right? You can rape somebody without actually inserting yourself in that person. So I'm thinking, was it an oral sex thing? Did he force her to do something, or is that what she's alleging? Of course, everything needs proof, but you're open to this, trying to figure out like what happened. There must be evidence. There must be something that led to this 12-year conviction. This brother got 12 years in prison. And from what I have been reading, and believe me, I have been reading everything this afternoon. I have read every story that I could find. There is nothing there that says that he had sex with her. They were at his apartment for 5 minutes. They were at his apartment for 5 minutes, and then he walked her back to the bar. He walked her back. I don't know. Tell me, am I crazy? Because this case seems insane to me. So this young black man, he's now 21. They were both underage at the time. The bar should be held partly liable. They were accomplices because they allowed allegedly the bar is accused of allowing underage people to come in a lot on a regular basis. So some would say that they would be somewhat complicit if anything did go down. But of course, they're going to put all the responsibility on the black man. They're not going to put any responsibility on anybody else. But literally, this kid, and I'm going to pull up the story so you guys can see it. But literally, I agree. I know Dale says, bro, you can't do nothing in 5 minutes. Well, I guess some guy, maybe there are men out there that can. Maybe there are like you got fast food. Maybe you got really efficient rapists. I don't know. But either way, whether it was a 5-minute rape or a 30-minute rape, it's still inappropriate. But the thing is, 5 minutes, they were at his place for 5 minutes. I'm gonna pull up this story. Please hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the share button, subscribe button. activity. Share this to your Facebook page. Please do this. Please. We got to help this brother. This ain't no regular story that I want to just talk about. This is a story that I want to. I actually want to get involved in this because this really bothers me. Okay, so anyway, hey Cheryl and Diana and everybody else. I see somebody says you're streaming twice on YouTube. Yeah, sometimes we have another channel, the Your Black World channel. So, but they don't actually send out notifications. That's why it's important to get on the text list, because they do not send out notifications on the YouTube channel. That's why it's hard for people on the channel to actually even see the videos. It's pretty horrible. But anyway, so let me read some of this to you. This is real interesting. This is on vibe.com. They have an article here, and I'm going to read this to you. And I want you guys to just hear this. And in fact, if you have a son, bring your son in here and make your son watch this damn video. Make your son watch it, because I'm about to keep it 100% real with him about the fact that you need to protect yourself from these predators out here. There are predators out here that hunt black men, that want to destroy black men. There is a system out here that wants to send black men to prison with no evidence whatsoever. There is a whole infrastructure in place to take your son down. There, just like people debate whether there was a conspiracy with Nipsey Hussle. Well, the conspiracy is already in place. The system itself is the conspiracy. The existence of the system's a conspiracy. You're wondering if there was a plot to kill you by somebody who lives in the building. Well, the fact that the building was built, the building itself is evidence that there was a plot to get you, right? So just the structure of the entire system, the way it's built, that's the conspiracy, not whether or not somebody got paid to go and squeeze some bullets on Nipsey Hussle. They could have killed Nipsey in 1,000 ways. They didn't need to do it that way. There's a million ways they could have killed him. So anyway, let me keep going. The conspiracy affects all of us, not just one or two guys. It affects everybody. So here's the case. It says on Vibe.com, they said Albert Wilson has maintained his innocence throughout the very complicated trial. The case of Albert N. Wilson sounds like something out of an episode of Law and Order SVU. Wilson, a former University of Kansas student, attended a bar with a friend and met a girl who was visiting a family member who attended Kansas University, or University of Kansas. The two were underage and under the influence. So they were both underage. They were both drinking. We got to make sure we know that, because now they're telling people that if you have sex with a woman who's drunk or who's been drinking, that you could be charged with rape, which is insane, because if I'm drunk, ain't nobody gonna get charged with raping me, right? But again, of course, there's like, well, you can't rape anybody. You're not capable. Yeah, okay, yeah. Just keep doing that. Keep talking that crazy shit. So anyway, let's keep going. So it says The two were underage and under the influence when they left the bar to go back to Wilson's apartment. What happened next has changed both of their lives, leaving Wilson with a sentence of over 12 years in prison. 12 years. So he's 21. He'll be out when he's 33. He's pretty much lost his youth. He's losing all of his 20s. His 20s are gone. And there's a good chance when he goes to prison, he'll be raped. He might be raped hundreds of times. So let's keep going. I'm not going to say that. They said Lawrence Journal World reports that Wilson was given the sentence on Wednesday, April 3rd, which 2 days ago from the time I'm doing this video, in addition to a lifetime of probation and a mandatory sex offender title for the events that transpired in September 2016. Now, sex offender title is a life sentence. Basically, that means that you are not allowed to reintegrate back into society at any point in the rest of your life. So, I've seen, I knew a brother, who got that title, that label. Once you get that label, you're kind of done. It's very difficult for you to do pretty much anything, from what I've seen, what I've observed. And so, if you get caught in a situation, I've had people say that that you shouldn't just be like, oh yeah, sure, you can label me as a sex offender as long as I can go. You got to be extremely careful, because that pretty much, again, for Black men or any man who gets that label, it's a life sentence. There is no equivalent. There is no female equivalent to any of this. There is nothing. There are very few things other than maybe murder or something, that women don't typically do, where a woman could get some kind of label like that for life. But anyway, let me keep going. They said that, let's see, he was 20 at the time. He met the girl who was 17 years old. The girl used a friend's ID to get into the bar. And so the girl wasn't carded when she came into the bar. So the 20-year-old and the 17-year-old, they agreed that they met while heading to the dance floor. So they said the video surveillance, the girl grabs the boy's hand, she pulls him up, she wants to dance with him. That's what they do. That's how people lure you in. They'll flirt with you, boost up your ego. That's why you gotta warn your sons, because these girls will be real super aggressive until it's time to be the victim. Then they become an aggressive victim, right? They're super aggressive until it's like, oh my God, the big black man made me do it. When if you watch, the behavior in the surveillance video of the girl jumping on him, kissing on him, all these other things, right? Before they went back to his apartment for five extraordinary minutes, where she says that there was a rape that occurred. Now, here's the thing about that rape. There is no evidence that he had sex with her. They swabbed her vagina. They swabbed whatever they swab when they rape you, or when you say somebody raped you, they swabbed all of that, found no DNA anywhere on her except for her chest. Because he kissed her. He kissed her, and that's why his DNA was on her. So they kissed, they made out. That's what he said. And anyway, let me keep going. I'm gonna keep reading. I'm not getting ahead of myself. Let me calm down. Please hit the thumbs up button. Please share this video, because people need to see this. Both parties agreed that while they met while they were heading to the dance floor, called the Boom Boom Room, and danced with one another. Wilson allegedly lifted up the girl's skirt and touched her while they kissed. She did not object. In fact, she went to his apartment later. Now, mind you, let me just tell you this. I'm actually foreshadowing a bit here. He got charged for that too. The judge charged him. They tried to put a charge on him for lifting up her skirt and touching her when she didn't even resist. She didn't even fight back. He got charged for consensually touching her. She did not say, get your hands off of me, nigga, get your hands out of my vagina. He didn't say none of that. She was fine with that. She went back to his apartment with him afterward. And let me calm down. This in case you don't know, I have to contain how furious I am about this. This is really, I'm sweating right now. Like I'm really sweating. I swear to God, I'm sweating. Shortly after, Wilson invited the girl back to his place, which was walking distance from the bar. Neither party apparently asked about each other's age. So after they get on the dance floor and he kisses her and touches her a little bit, she's totally fine with that. In fact, according to Wilson, when they were walking, she jumped all over him again and started kissing the hell out of him again. But yet again, the judge wanted to send him to prison also for touching her on the dance floor. That's some racist shit right there. That's some like, you're going to prison for touching that white woman. You touch that white woman, you're going to prison. And we know Kansas has a history of that. Kansas, if you go back, some of the most notorious rape trials against black men occurred in Kansas. Some of the most notorious, horrific cases in all of black history occurred in Kansas. Let me keep going. The victim claimed that Wilson took, hold on. The victim claimed that Wilson took her back to his place where he raped her, but Wilson shared a different story with the jury. Quote, she didn't seem intoxicated at all, Wilson said, as he claimed the two kissed and engaged in other sex acts, but never had sexual intercourse. Now, I want you to kind of pay attention to this. I'm taking notes because when I have a thought, when I get this angry about something, my ADHD starts kicking in and I start getting ahead of myself. My brain is like, well, tell them about this, mention that, mention this, mention that. I literally have to calm myself. I kid you not. Forgive me for this. Forgive me for having to do this. So again, I'm just telling y'all, I'm giving y'all a foreshadow in what I'm going to read to you here. There's no evidence that he raped her. There's no evidence that he had sex with her. There's no evidence whatsoever that this happened. This whole case came down to he said, she said. It comes down to her saying he did this to me when we were at his apartment for 5 minutes. So if the case comes down to he said, she said, because that's all they got. All they got is the word of a white woman. It's a white woman's tears. They don't have anything else. If the case comes down to he said, she said, why is it always that the she said dramatically outweighs what the he said? I don't get that. Why is it that when a white woman talks, your ears are wide open, you hear everything, but when a black man talks, you don't hear shit? Why? Seriously, do you follow what I'm saying? Why is it that when you have he said, she said is all that matters? What she said is what's heard. That part's really interesting. And I would speculate the part of that is because when you are a black man, you are seen as a liar, you are seen as a predator, you are seen as a criminal, you are seen as a thug, you are seen as a menace to society, you are seen as somebody who will harm other people, you are seen as somebody who's not trustworthy, who has no credibility, and the white woman is put up here. The white woman has always been allowed to live on a pedestal, and many of them abuse that pedestal. They use that pedestal, they lift it up, and they slam it and hit you upside the head as a black man. I'm going to keep reading. Please hit the thumbs up button. Please do that. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, if you're on YouTube, please hit the thumbs up button. We need you guys to do that so that more people will come into the video. Please do that for me. Wilson said, as he claimed, the two kissed and engaged in other sex acts, but never had sexual intercourse. Kansas Bureau of Investigation scientists, this is important, testified that Wilson's DNA was found on the girl's chest, which is where he kissed her. But pay attention, no seminal fluid, no semen or DNA was found. Swabs were collected from the girl the day after the incident from a nurse at a local hospital. Photos of bruises were taken on her inner thigh. During the trial, Wilson maintained his innocence and explained why he initially claimed he didn't remember what happened at the apartment. Quote, I don't know how to explain this, but I come from a different background than you, ma'am, said Wilson, who was black, to Judge Sally Picorni, who was white. I just felt like the police were against me at that point. So it sounds to me like when they started questioning him, he basically was like, I don't remember anything. I don't remember what happened that night. That basically he was afraid of the cops for good reason. They just taken away 12 years of his life. And so he was very defensive and didn't want to answer questions. So I don't know, maybe they're convicting him because he didn't start talking to them, which actually, if you have a son, tell your son, don't you say shit to those sons of bitches. You tell him to wait till the lawyer gets there. Do not talk to them. If they talk, just do like the drug dealers do. Lawyer is your word, should be lawyer. Lawyer. Don't say nothing. Don't even say where's the bathroom. Say lawyer. Let me keep going. I'm not giving legal advice, but this is that seems to make sense. That's what all my lawyer friends tell me is don't you say shit, because they'll pretend to be your friend. Like, oh, well, Tyrone, we want to help you get out of this. All you got to do is just help us out here. We know you didn't do it, blah, 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 blah. And next thing you know, they're charging you. So let me keep going. Wilson's court-appointed attorney, Forrest Lowry, stated that the former student wasn't the man he was painted to be in the trial. The now 23-year-old was a Wichita Southeast high school football player with no criminal record. He earned his associate's degree from a community college before transferring to University of Kansas and had dreams of becoming a sports journalist. Quote, it was a chance meeting. Obviously, my client misread what was going on, Lowry said in court. If there was ever a case that deserved a departure of any kind, I think this is it. After a 6-hour deliberation, the all-white jury, so white people are the ones that are sending your sons to hell, the all-white jury convicted Wilson of rape. Wilson was given the reported, quote, lowest end of what's called for by Kansas sentencing guidelines for rape. So the lowest sentence he could have got is 12 years. So the most lenient they would have been on him is to take away all of his 20s and part of his 30s. The case has gained attention, including supporters creating a website detailing some questionable aspects of the incident. And that website is freealbertwilson.com. That's freealbertwilson.com. Video surveillance showed the two engaging with one another throughout their encounter, and that they were only at the apartment for 5 minutes before they headed back to the bar. Many have questioned why Wilson was given a lengthy sentence, but actual convicted rapists like Brock Turner were given lighter sentences. Now remember, Brock Turner was that white boy that got 6 months, and they know he raped his ass. They know he raped him. I'm looking at your comments. Let me keep going. I have to calm down. I can't. It breaks my heart. So further down, I'm gonna show you guys the brother's picture. If you're on drboycetv.com, you can see his picture. Let me show you his picture here. Hold on. Here he is right here. He's very distraught. You can see he looks overwhelmed. He looks exactly the way a college student would look if he's about to be sent to prison with rapists and hardened criminals for the next 12 years. He looks like a young man who had dreams and hopes for the future, and now those dreams are gone. He looks like a young man who knows that he's pretty much lost it all. I'm going to keep going. Let me keep going. So there's a website. It's called freealbertwilson.com. And there's more information about the case on the website. And there's a place where you can donate to the cause. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some of Free Albert Wilson. Now, one thing I want to point out real quick is I want you to point out the difference between white media and black media. Vibe is, I don't know exactly who owns Vibe, but Vibe leans toward African Americans. It leans toward an understanding of what black men go through, whereas here you have KCTV, right? Kansas TV. Now, I want to read this report to you in terms of how white people tell other white people about what they've done to a black man. It says a former Lawrence resident has been sentenced after being found guilty of rape. Albert N. Wilson, 23, was sentenced on Wednesday to 147 months in prison, which is 12 years, for rape by force or fear, according to the Douglas County District Attorney. As part of his sentence, he will be under lifetime post-release supervision and lifetime sex offender registration. Police on September 15, 2016, police were assigned to investigate a rape that happened at a house in Lawrence. So they didn't say a rape that allegedly happened. They didn't say that it could have happened. They said it did happen, right? So that's the first thing you notice. The other thing you can notice here is that they mentioned nothing at all. They mentioned nothing at all in this story about any evidence that should be required if you're going to ruin a young man's life. If you're going to go and say something to somebody about somebody that's going to get them sent to prison, away from their mother, sent away to a place where they may get raped hundreds of times. If you're going to condemn somebody to be raped hundreds of times, then you need to have some evidence. You need to have some proof. So listen to this story. They're talking about this man's life like it means nothing. Listen to this. Let's keep going. The victim told police she met the suspect while she was at the Jayhawk Cafe with her cousin. Wilson separated the victim, no allegedly again, right? I guess because you white people have decided that you're guilty, so that means you're guilty. There's no allegedly anymore. It is Wilson. What Wilson separated the victim from her cousin at the bar. Basically, that nigga took this white woman away from her cousin and then led her to his house and raped her, right? Definitive statements, very definitive statements. Wilson separated the victim from her cousin at the bar, then led her to his house and raped her. The victim repeatedly told him no and that she was too drunk, according to the authorities. So they basically just write this story. There is no, now my page, think about this. In the Michael Jackson documentary, which we're not going to talk much about that in detail, but notice in that documentary, at least then they were like trying to give details, like Michael did this, then he touched me here, then he spread my butt, it was gross. I don't even want to repeat what was said. Here, there's nothing. Here, there's no discussion that the woman got a rape kit and they found DNA to prove that he had forcibly raped her. Or the woman says that he punched her and knocked her down, and there's proof that he did this because she had a bruise on her left eye and that she was bleeding or whatever. There's nothing there. There is literally nothing in this story or any other story I've seen that says that this black man raped this woman other than white woman's words and white woman's tears. They don't have shit. They have nothing. Tell me what they have. They have nothing. Nothing. They have no, the video surveillance, that video supports him. That video, I'm going to go to the website, freealbertwilson.com. I went to the web. I woke up, I saw this story and I started reading it. I could not stop reading it. I went to other websites. I Googled it. I was looking at it in detail, and I was looking specifically for proof that he did it. And there was none. Now, let me tell you what they do. Here's how they destroy your son. Here's how they're going to take your son. If you don't watch him, if you don't tell him to watch his ass and be careful around these predators, here's how they're going to take down your son. They're going to have somebody make an accusation against him. They go, some Becky is going to be like, oh, he raped me or he did whatever. And then they're going to go to your son and they're going to say, prove that she's not telling the truth. Where were you that night? What were you doing that night that caused this to happen? They're going to start the whole conversation by giving her the benefit of the doubt. They're going to start off by taking away your son's rights to innocent till proven guilty. When you're a black man, ain't no such thing as innocent till proven guilty. Don't you dare believe that nonsense. It is guilty until proven innocent. And even if you're proven innocent, we still don't send your black ass to prison because you're worthless. Because black lives don't matter. You don't matter to us anyway. So even if we made a mistake, who gives a fuck? Because that's one less rodent on the street. That's how they see it. There's no remorse. That judge will have no problem sleeping at night. There's nobody's going to say, I wonder if this young black man could have grown up and become the next Barack Obama. I wonder if he would have become a respected journalist. I wonder if he would have met a beautiful black woman and had some beautiful kids and been a great father to some children. They ain't gonna worry about that shit. In their mind, it's like one more nigga off the street. Maybe we got it right. Maybe we didn't. I had a hunch they probably did it. Well, that ain't the way justice is supposed to work in America. You're not supposed to do that. Let me break this down. I am not a lawyer. I am not an attorney, but let me break down. But I am a mathematician. You see, and as a mathematician, we understand lawyers because law and mathematics are very similar. It's all based on logic. It's all based on logic. And in mathematics, we had a concept called necessary though not sufficient proof. Right? Necessary, though not sufficient. Necessary means that in order for us to believe this is true, you have to have these things. But that doesn't mean that we believe it's true automatically. You have to have sufficient proof. You have to go above and beyond the basics. You can't just say, well, we believe that he should go to prison because a white woman said it. You have to say, yeah, it's necessary that you are accusing him. That's what's required for us to move forward. Without you accusing him, we can't move forward without your white woman words and your white woman tears. So thank you for providing that which is necessary. But white woman words and white woman tears are not sufficient for us to convict this person. That's not sufficient. We know your tears are flowing. They're streaming like a river. The whole world hears you because you're a white woman, and we all have empathy for you that we would never have for a black man because we think he's an animal anyway. But it's not sufficient for us to take this man and send him away and condemn him for life to go to a place where he may get raped 400 times. Now, you say that allegedly something happened that made you uncomfortable that night, and it was one incident that lasted 5 minutes, and he didn't even put his penis inside your body anywhere. There's no evidence of that. But see, if we send him away to prison, if we let your white woman tears convict this man and condemn him for life, you got to understand that when he goes away, there are big 300-pound men that have big muscles who will put their penis inside his body. They will rape him many times. They won't just rape him once or twice. They're going to rape him 100, 200 times. And he's not going to be able to go like a white woman and go get therapy and get police protection and be able to use white woman tears to get justice. There won't be any justice. There ain't no justice in prison for rape victims. He's going to get raped. And then the next day he's going to see the rapist at breakfast. And the rapist is going to say, yeah, nigga, I'm going to get you again tonight. And then he's going to show up again that night. He's going to rape him again and again and again. And he's going to cry to his mother on the phone. He's going to write letters. He's going to try to talk to somebody to get help, and ain't nobody going to help him. So because you are trying to send this person, this human being, I know you don't think he's a human being because he's a black man. I know it's a stretch to see a black man as a real person with real feelings and a possible future that you might be stealing from him. You know, even though it's hard for you to see that, we want you to just kind of understand that he is a human being just like you, and you're sending him off to hell. And you're sending him to hell for a very long time. Now, mind you, again, we are the white supremacist justice system. We have no problem sending Negroes to hell. We enjoy it, in fact. But you know, because we supposedly believe in this thing called liberty and justice and beyond a reasonable doubt and innocent till proven guilty, we're going to need you to provide sufficient proof that he did this crime. We need some evidence. We need evidence. So sufficient is not the same as necessary. Yes, it is necessary that you accuse him, but that's not sufficient. That's the same as saying in court. The necessary is what they call preponderance of the evidence, where maybe you think, well, yeah, there's about a 60% chance that he did it. In fact, I think there's a 70% chance that he did it. But according to the justice system, which does not apply to black people, according to the justice system, 70% is not enough. Not enough. You got to go up to that 90, 95%, because they claim that they would rather send, they said they'd rather let 1,000 guilty men go free than to send one innocent man to prison. That's what they claim to say. But for black men, it's kind of the opposite. They're like, we'd rather incarcerate 1,000 innocent people than to let one guilty person possibly get away with this shit. So we want to make sure all of them get sent away. Why? Well, because there is a fundamental underlying belief within the white supremacist mindset that black male life has no value. That's why the black men are filling up the penitentiaries, because they're not thinking about the fact that they're husbands and fathers. That's why when a black man gets shot up in the hood, who's not famous, like a Nipsey Hussle, there's 1,000 Nipsey Hussles that get shot up every single month. Nobody knows about it. Nobody cares. The police don't investigate that shit. They will never find the killer. That's why when my best friend Greg Wilkins in 1996 was gunned down, shot in the head by another black man, by the way, in front of his 3-year-old daughter, who's traumatized to this day because of what she saw, but the trauma lives in her subconscious, and she can't remember her daddy's voice. But you know, she was shot in front of his daughter, and the police said, "Oh, well, you know, we tried, we looked around, and we didn't find anybody, so we don't know." And the family's like, "No, we know who the killer is. We know where they at." And well, we can't really prove it, so blah 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 blah. It's the value of black life that leads them to not feel bad when they destroy the life of a young black person, especially a young black man, because deep down they see you as a rodent and as a menace to society in the first place, and so getting rid of you is not that big of a deal. Now I'm going to switch speeds a little bit. Please do me a favor. If you're on YouTube or Facebook or anywhere, please hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, subscribe button, stuff like that. Also know that Dr. Boyce TV is on iTunes. So if you want to check out the podcast on iTunes, you can do that, or SoundCloud, either one if you want to listen. And also if you want to support intelligent black media, please, we'd love to have you as a supporter. You can go to intelligentblackpeople.com. That's intelligentblackpeople.com. Or even if you're on YouTube, if you want to just donate to the platform right here, you can, because I'm going to tell you what that money is going to be partially used for. I'm going to get involved with this case and see what I can do to help this brother out. If you know anybody, if you happen to live in Kansas and you know somebody who knows what's going on here, please email my manager. The email address is manager@boycewatkins.com. That's manager@boycewatkins.com. Please send over a note, or if you're an attorney, private investigator, activist, or you can help us with this on some level, please send us a message, and we can figure out a way to do something, get justice for this brother. So let me share my screen. If you're on drboycetv.com, you'll see the screen. If not, I can read it to you, and it's totally okay. So here's Albert Wilson. This is a website called freealbertwilson.com. I'm directly asking you to go to this brother's website, to look into this case, investigate your ass off. Make sure you're not defending a guilty person. Make sure you're not being misled. I want you to look at the facts, and I want you to stick to one fundamental idea, one fundamental proof, or one fundamental truism that I've noticed in this whole situation when I've analyzed all of this, when I looked at the media reports and what's on the site, is that there is no evidence of a rape. One fundamental truth that's going on here is that there is no proof that they had sex. So I'm trying to understand how you're sending this young man to the death chambers, basically. Men die in prison all the time. Brothers go to prison, get raped so many times they catch AIDS and die. His future's gone. It's huge. There's no such thing as doing 12 years and then recovering from that. A lot of people can't ever recover. You know, Khalif Browder went to Rikers, and I don't know what happened to Khalif in Rikers, but Khalif killed himself, and he killed himself after he got out of Rikers. It was after he got out of Rikers and was a free man, that whatever it was that was inside his mind or inside his body or inside his spirit was still so infected by whatever he went through in the chambers of death that he could not overcome that, and he took his own life. So in many cases, when they send a black man to prison, even for a little while, that is a death sentence. Anyway, let's keep going. So here's the site does a very good job of giving detailed information about what happened that night. They said that the Family Day in Lawrence, Kansas is traditionally a yearly tradition where students, family, and friends come together to celebrate the start of the new school year. Thousands of people visit, creating a contagious excitement that carries into the night in the area known as the Triangle. So I'm gonna keep scrolling down. So 1057, this is 1057. This is an image of the bar. I don't see them in this image, but they're just showing the bar. They said, according to the affidavit obtained from the court, Mr. Wilson and his friend are seen on camera entering the bar at this time. Advertised as a 21 and older bar, the Hawk has gained an infamous reputation for allowing the entry of underage kids using fake IDs. This is what Mr. Wilson is seen doing to gain entry into the bar. So basically, you got this bar, the Hawk, which should be the subject of a deeper investigation as to why they're even allowing young people in and not doing due diligence to make sure they're keeping young people out. They should be sued as well. If I was his mother, I would sue the Hawk for sure. On the other hand, on the other end of the bar, according to the testimony of Danielle Carroll, a witness that worked at the Hawk and is seen on video, the accuser, her cousin, and him walk into the Hawk without getting carded or stopped. So the white girls walk in, nobody cards them or stops them, even though the white girl's underage. So they didn't check either one of their IDs. I think to drink, you got to be 21 in Kansas. So so they didn't check either one of them, or they checked him but didn't check her. Let's see here. So as the night goes on, Mr. Wilson is enjoying his night like any other student in the local bar. He did not know that an interaction that had sparked up with the girl in the line to the boom boom room would change his life forever. So he meets the girl. They're both going into this boom boom room, which apparently is a place where they said anything goes. People are able to, you know, like, I guess, get freaky on the dance floor. And so they're both in line for the boom boom room. So, you know, he's trying to get his freak on. She's trying to get her freak on, or whatever they do in the boom boom room. And that's where they met. But Mr. Wilson hesitates in order to ensure, the accuser pulls his arm. So she grabs his arm as they head to the dance room. But Mr. Wilson hesitates in order to ensure that his friend was coming in as well. So he was making sure his friend was with him. This was seen on video and heard during testimony presented to court. Wilson testified that he lives in Wichita, but was a full-time student at University of Kansas at the time, after getting his associate's degree at a community college. That night, he and a friend met the girl and her cousin in line at the boom boom room. Okay, so that's as quoted in the Lawrence Journal. Surveillance footage from the bar shown in court Wednesday shows her pulling him by the hand into the boom boom room. Okay, so let's keep going. So they were in the boom boom room, and as you know from the video, this is what was quoted. They said, as you know from the video, pretty much anything goes. Lowry said, I think Lowry might be the attorney or something like that. She's kissing him, he's kissing her back. So two young people kissing, they're making out. That's what people do when they like each other, you know, and there's nothing illegal about that, right? But then again, there's a whole different conversation that you have to have with your son because he's a black man. So at 12:15 a.m., as seen in the video, Mr. Wilson and the accuser are seen leaving the bar together. So this is after, apparently after he kissed her on the dance floor and touched her, you know, and kind of got her riled up. She and he decide they want to leave together. And so Mr. Wilson and the accuser are seen leaving the bar together and walking down 14th Street. Now they're holding hands, right? So she clearly likes him. She wants to, you know more about what he's got going on, apparently. And other cameras show the pair walking hand in hand around the corner and down the 14th Street hill toward Wilson's house, which is 2 blocks away. While the girl previously testified that she drunkenly stumbled, so she testified that she was drunk. Again, that's the big defense now. That's why, again, tell your sons, don't sleep with a girl that's drunk. And because the thing is, he doesn't get the same protection. He can't say, well, I was drunk too. And the problem is that you've got drunk people who will say, come on, let's go have sex. Let's go have sex very aggressively. And so that's just, I'm sorry, that's just stupid. That's dumb. If you choose to get drunk and you do some dumb shit while you're drunk, then you're responsible for the dumb shit that you do. That's just what I believe. If I'm a black man, if I get drunk and I go out and I throw a brick through a store window, or I go punch a guy in the face, I'm going to get locked up for punching a guy in the face. I'm going to get locked up for vandalism. If whatever I do when I'm drunk, I'm going to be held responsible for that. But again, because of white woman's tears, white woman's words, and white woman's privilege, they're not held responsible for anything that they do when they are drunk. So that, again, that links back to slavery. That goes all the way back to the white woman being the most cherished and protected person on the planet. She's denied any form of accountability for her behavior, which ultimately puts all the behavior accountability on the black man. Now the broader point that I want you to understand is this, and this is why I told you to bring your son in here, because your son needs to have some real ass conversations with a grown ass man who can tell him about the shit that's out here waiting for him. He needs to be careful. My father used to have these conversations with me, and some kids don't have fathers or strong enough fathers that'll tell them the truth. Well, maybe I can be that guy. So here's the thing. Let me explain this concept and help you kind of see it through an example. Let me explain. So my future son-in-law, I said son-in-law, not son-in-law, sorry. My future stepson, but when he's my son, he's going to be my son. He and I, he lives in this house with me. He and I were going out to get a package that was delivered to the wrong address. There was a package that he was getting from Amazon, and the package wasn't delivered at the house. It was delivered at another house. The delivery person apparently got the addresses mixed up in a dyslexic kind of way, I guess, and it went to some other address down the street. But we found out where it was, and we were going to go out and get this package, and he wanted his package right away. And I said, okay, well, it's kind of dark, but okay, I'll go with you. Let's go get it. And then on the way there, I said, wait a minute. Oh, that's right. We're both black men. A lot of people are going to be very nervous when they see two black men coming up, knocking on their door, two black men they don't even know, right? So I was kind of like, okay, how do we do this? I was like, okay, I'm not going to go up there by myself. Let's go up there together. She'll see you. You're younger than me. He's a little taller, but he's younger, and maybe they won't be so afraid. I thought about sending Alicia instead, because I was like, basically people get scared of black men, so I didn't know kind of how to handle that. So when we get to the door, it happens to be the home of a black woman. And the black woman, she was smart. She looks out her window and sees two black men standing on her front porch. Now, again, you can say, oh, well, she should have let you in, or she should have opened the door. But no, she shouldn't open the door, because we could have been anybody. We could have been there to rob her or kill her or whatever. And so we say, hey, we're just here to pick up the package. It's right here. Is that okay? And she's like, it's okay. It's okay. And so we picked up the package and we took off, and everything was fine. And so why was the black woman afraid when we walked up to her door? Well, she was afraid because she's got common sense, right? She was afraid because she knew that even if we look innocent, even if we look harmless, the fact of the matter is that if we were both allowed into her home and she's there by herself, we have a strategic advantage over her. We have a power and strength advantage that she would not be able to overcome in the event that things got messy and she made a mistake, right? He's 6'2", I'm 200 and something pounds. If we decided we had ill intentions, she would not be able to win that competition. She would not be able to win that fight due to an extreme power imbalance, which makes her vulnerable and unsafe, which means that she was smart to keep us the fuck out of her house. I agree. I concur with her decision. Why am I telling you this story? Well, because when your son goes off to college, or your cousin, your nephew, your little cousin, your best friend, whoever it is, when he goes off and he gets with Becky, or he goes to work and Becky says, hey, I really like you, Tyrone. I'd really, when I want to take you back, and I want to do these things to you. I want to feel your balls, and I want to blah, 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 right? And he's all excited, like, yeah, okay, all right, right? And he says, okay, I want to go back with Becky, and I'm going to get with her, and it's going to be great, man. It's going to be awesome. He is he's walking right into a situation where he is every bit as vulnerable to possible predatory behavior as that woman was if she had let us in her house, right? He is vulnerable. Why is he vulnerable? Not because she can physically beat him up or anything like that. We know that's not true. The reason he's vulnerable is because there is a distinct and a very clear power imbalance that she has that he will never have as a black man. There is a power that behind white woman's tears that a black man does not know. A white woman's words are believed as gold, because you see in this case, they sent this man to prison for 12 years and they have no evidence at all other than what she said. So when your son or your friend decides to go home with Becky, and he gets alone with Becky, where there is no proof of what happened with Becky, then Becky can leave that room and say he's a Nazi demon who peed on me like R. Kelly and tried to rape me and did these horrible things to me, and they will send him to prison because this case shows in 2019, as has been true all throughout American history, when the white woman talks, the whole world listens. The white woman's words are as clean and as clear as evidence in the eyes of this white supremacist justice system. That's why this young black man who had a great future, a college student, one of our best, one of our elite, would have been a husband possibly to somebody out here, his daughter, somebody, he would have been a member of our community, has now been sent away and taken to the gulags and been fed, where he's going to be fed all kinds of trauma and mental illness and everything else, and come back as a person that we're going to have to fix, and we're going to have to repair him when he comes back from 12 years of prison, when he could have been a great man on his own. So what I'm saying is that your sons have to be aware of the power imbalance. Am I saying that every white person is a liar? No, I'm not saying that. Am I saying that every white woman is going to accuse you of something? No, I'm not. Am I saying that every sexual assault victim is lying? No, I'm not saying any of that shit. I've had people accuse them. You're saying that sexual assault victims like to lie. I'm like, no, I'm talking to the honest brothers out here who are being taken down by the few liars that are out here. You gonna tell me that a white woman ain't never told a lie? Well, fuck you. Fuck it. Seriously, I had that problem when I wrote an article about, you can even go look it up. I wrote an article and I said, I was telling black men to beware because you might be running into a wolf in freak's clothing. You might be running into some woman with a big butt and a smile, or maybe with Becky, she ain't usually got the big butt, but you know what I'm talking about. Some sexy woman that's seducing him and bringing him back, making him feel like he's the man. And next thing you know, she might have a mental illness that will lead to her telling a story. And because she's a white woman, they're going to believe what she said. And in fact, it really is not even just white women. You just have to be careful about who you get naked with. There's a student I met at Stanford. I met a student, a young man who came to my event when I was in Houston. And he was a student at Stanford University. And he said that in high school, I never would have listened to anything that you had to say because I thought racism was a thing of the past. He said, I had a lot of white friends. I dated white girls. I thought that they all liked me. He said, but I got accused. He said, I got falsely accused of sexual assault by a white woman, and all my friends abandoned me. All my white friends believed her, and nobody believed me. It was her word against mine, and her words were the ones they listened to. They did not listen to me. And I said, yeah, man. I said, son, this is what has been going on for 400 years. This ain't nothing new. He said the only people that stood by him in the whole ordeal were black women that he worked with who actually had his back. And then when it was confirmed and proven that the white girl had a mental disorder, you got crazy people out here. You don't put your life in the hands of a crazy person. When it was proven that the white girl had a mental disorder and that she made up the accusation, she got no punishment whatsoever. He was forced to move on with his life with extensive post-traumatic stress disorder. He said, I was so scared I couldn't go back to Stanford. He said, I didn't want to be around white people. I was afraid of them. I said, good. I'm glad you were traumatized enough to have some goddamn sense. You need to be careful, bro. Why do you think that I work by myself and I get away from people that might be predators toward me? It's not because every white person's bad, or it's not because I can't possibly be friends with you. It's because I'm nervous that it only takes one crazy one to take you down. Just like Nipsey Hussle, when he died, it only took one crazy person out of a million to put it all to an end. So this ain't even just purely a racial thing. This is a safety thing. And if anything is true about America that is documented and proven, is that thousands and thousands and thousands of black men have lost their future because they were convicted based on white women's words and white women's tears. And that was all the evidence they had. Emmett Till got kidnapped, got his face smashed in, and got beat to death and thrown in the river because a white woman decided to tell a story. All of Black Wall Street got burned down. $1 billion worth of property burned to the ground. Hundreds of people arrested, lots of people shot, killed, traumatized, lost everything because one white woman used the power of her words to tear down an entire community. And when the community, when the newspapers, when the local media reported on the story, they did exactly what they're doing to Albert Wilson. They did the exact same thing. I read the report to you. The report was not, well, allegedly this happened, or he says this is what happened, or she's white, he's black, and there are concerns about the all-white jury and the racial implications. There isn't any proof. No, they didn't say none of that. They just said he raped her. He took her from her friends and he raped her, and he did this and he did that, and they stated it as if it were truth. They stated it as if it were truth when they have no evidence whatsoever in their hands to prove that this young man raped anybody. None. If you don't understand what I'm saying to you right now, you need to sit down and listen. You need to really pay close attention to every word coming out of my mouth, because I'm showing you right here that they don't need proof to take out your son. They don't need shit. They just need somebody to make an accusation and he's done. Let me keep going. Please hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the share button, subscribe button, everything else. As you can see, this case bothers me a lot more than others. Others bother me, but this really gets to me because I have a heart for this poor guy. And it's just, it's sick. I mean, I'm reading through this. I'm reading through every detail. And I told you all, I don't buy into conspiracies easily. I don't just believe every person's innocent because they black. Y'all seen me talk about black people and certain black people and say, no, I can't, I'm not vouching for him. Y'all seen this, right? But I'm reading through this and I'm looking and I'm like, where is the proof? And why is it that nobody else is outraged with me when I say that you need proof before you send somebody to prison for 12 years? You need some evidence. They have nothing. They presented nothing. So anyway, let me keep reading. So I'm on the site. It's freealbertwilson.com. And on this website, they're saying the cameras show that they walked down the street together. The girl testified that she drunkenly stumbled. Wilson said she stumbled on a sidewalk crack on the steep hill. So again, he said, she said, but what she said matters more than what he said because of the power, the over-dominating power of the white woman's words, right? That's what puts him at risk. I explained this to you. When he asked if she was okay, he said that she jumped on him, wrapping her arms and legs around him and continued to kiss him. So he's like, so she stumbles. He's like, are you okay? She jumps on him, wraps her arms and legs around him and keeps kissing him. They said, while consent was never verbalized, which consent, how many of you have sex and before you have sex with the person say, oh, wait, are you officially giving me consent to have sex with you? Can you please sign a document? Can you please confirm to me that we're going to have sex, or send me a text like that we're, like how many of you, how often, seriously, just one question. How many of you, when you have sex, just ask the person like, hey, can we have sex now? I'm going to kiss you. Is it okay if I kiss you? How many women, ladies, tell me how nerdy that would seem if a man was to ask you if it was okay for him to move forward. It would seem ridiculous. Like, people don't do that. People, they get a vibe and they assume if you're not comfortable, you're going to tell them to stop. And a gentleman knows to stop, right? If you lean in to kiss, like Will Smith was teaching that one guy, he was teaching the white guy how to kiss, how to approach a girl. He said, you do the 90-10. You lean in for the kiss, you go 90 and she goes 10, and it works like that, right? You can tell if somebody wants to sleep with you or if they don't want to sleep with you, because somebody who doesn't want to sleep with you will say, I don't want to sleep with you, or stop, or I got to go home, or get your ass off of me, or whatever it is. That's what real women do. And real women don't play games like that. They don't play games where they keep saying no, but they really mean yes. You can't afford those games. And brothers, don't even fall for that shit. If she's playing that game where she's playing hard to get and she keeps saying no. You get maybe one, maybe two no's from me. Maybe I might, if I ask and you say no, then I'm going to assume that you mean no, because I'm going to assume that you're saying what you mean, not playing some game with me. If you say no twice, then that's when we pack up and we go home. And you might get another shot, you might not. That was how I learned to operate, based on the teachings from my father. That's what my dad told. If she say no, don't even if she means yes, you get the fuck out. Don't you dare put yourself in that vulnerable position. So let me keep going. While consent was never verbalized, Wilson said he believed that they were headed to his place to have sex and that she was on board. The girl testified that she told Wilson no, but he testified that she never said that. Again, he said, she said, he said, she said. That's all it is. I mean, that again, but what she said is what people are listening to. They're not listening to what he said at all. By the way, I want to say thank you very much to Paper Soldier for the donation. Thank you. Paper Soldier says Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin easily bought on Robinhood app. Get interest on your money. Real estate and stock market dipping, saving you. Okay, we're not talking about investing today, but that's a good. Thank you for sharing that information. So yeah, on the Robinhood app and look. So yeah, you can actually buy crypto on Robinhood. Thank you for telling me that. I do have a Robinhood account. Okay, so let's keep going. According to Google Maps, it takes about 4 to 5 minutes to reach Mr. Wilson's home. So they leave at 12:15 apparently, and then at 12:20 they arrived at his house. They said that to reach Mr. Wilson's home when leaving the hawk, depending on the conditions of the area, that's how long it takes. It takes 4 to 5 minutes. And then they say, using the assumption from Google Maps, Mr. Wilson, the accuser, would have reached his house at 12:20, according to the affidavit. Mr. Wilson's friend calls Mr. Wilson at 12:21. So write down these times. Like, pay attention now. These are receipts. This is information about the case. So they leave at 12:15. They arrive. They would have arrived at 12:20, and his friend hits him up at 12:21. So it takes 5 minutes to get there. In minute 6. His boy hits him up. Now, this is 12:30 a.m. 12:30 is 9 minutes after his boy hits him up. It says, according to the affidavit, around approximately 12:30 in the morning, Wilson calls his friend. Mr. Wilson is seen walking back with the accuser, then meeting up with his friend and leaving. So he leaves the bar at 12:15 with the girl. It takes 5 minutes to get to his house. His boy hits him up at 12:21, which is 1 minute after 12:20, which is the time they think that he got there. But then by 12:30, he's heading back. He's heading back. Okay, so they see that. Let me see here. So let me read this. They said, using the assumption from Google Maps, Mr. Wilson, the accuser, would have left his home at 12:25. Sorry. So they left in 5 minutes to make it back at 12:30. So by 12:30, he's back at the bar. He leaves at 12:15 with a girl, gets home at 12:20, leaves his home at 12:25, gets home at 12:30. He's alone with her allegedly for 5 minutes, and he also apparently took a call from his boy within that 5 minute period. That's a hell of a quick rape, especially when y'all ain't even had no sex. I'm sorry. Tell me if any of this sounds crazy. I'm literally trying to mathematically and logically add this up. So they said video shows the two returning to the bar. This time they're not holding hands, about 15 to 20 minutes after they left. Wilson estimated that they were only actually inside his room for 5 minutes. He said the girl came upstairs with him, lay on his bed, and they kept making out. He said he never removed her clothes and that he did not have sex with her. Wilson got a text from his boy saying, "Where you at?" and a missed call from his friend at the bar, and decided to go see what he needed. So he basically says, again, he said, she said, right? So he said that he told her, "I'm sorry, I got to go back. My boy's back there waiting on me." And I'm going to give you a precursor. He says, so I'll just read it to you because this is going to get to the point. It says, when he told the girl he was leaving, she gave him a mad look, and they both walked back toward the bar. So Wilson is basically saying, Albert Wilson, the young black man who just got 12 years in prison for allegedly raping a white woman in 5 minutes without having sex with her, is basically saying she was mad because I wouldn't give her the dick. I would not have sex with her. That's what he's basically saying. He's basically saying that she was mad. She felt rejected because he said, "I gotta go. My boy needs me. My boy, my boy wants me back at the bar. I gotta go back to the bar," and she's mad, right? So let me keep going. Okay, Omar Wally says, we may need to read the legal definition for rape in Kansas. Recall she was underage, so that may be a factor. It could be. It could be. They never talked about her age. He's 20, she's 17. I don't know. Let me keep going. I don't know what the age of consent is in Kansas. So somebody, please feel free to Google that. Look, just Google it real quick. What is the age of consent in Kansas? Actually, I'll Google it. Hit the thumbs up button while I do that. Please hit the thumbs up button. And if you want to get text notifications when we go live, please text the word Boyce to 31996. Text Boyce to 31996, and you'll get a text alert when we go live. 16 is the age of consent in Kansas. So legally, she can't consent to sex. Now, the fact that he's 20, how does that play into it? I don't know. They've mentioned nothing about him being charged with rape over the fact that she was 17. Nothing. So the age of consent is 16. So anyway, let me keep going. So October 2016, a 17-year-old, so this is a month later, a 17-year-old reported to Lawrence police that she'd been raped by a man she met at a bar near the campus. So apparently, let me see, so the incident allegedly took place September 10th. She makes the report in October. The teen told police that she was very drunk when the man, whose name she wasn't sure of, isolated her from her friend, walked her to a nearby home, raped her, and then walked her back to the bar. In November 2016, the police went to his house. So 2 months after the event, they went to his house, took him to the police station for an interview. When police showed him surveillance photos from the bar, Wilson said it was him in the pictures, as quoted in the Lawrence Journal. The report, and then October 2017. So this is okay. So this is almost a year later. This is 11 months later. They said that report and a chain of police work that followed eventually led to the arrest of Albert Wilson, 21, of Lawrence, according to the affidavit prepared by police in support of his arrest. Wilson was charged October 11th in Douglas County District Court with 1 count of rape, a felony. And then there's the part where there's a discussion where the judge actually wanted to charge him for touching her on the dance floor, which she fully consented to. She showed no resistance. But again, apparently, I guess touching a white woman is a crime, even if she says to touch me. The teen, let me see. So I'm looking at some of the stories here to see what they put in this other website that they linked to. The victim reported the rape on October 5th and told police, that it happened according to the affidavit the night of September 10th. And early the next morning, she was with her cousin at the Jayhawk Cafe and very intoxicated when 2 men separated them and touched both of them inappropriately. She said one of the men led her out of the bar and walked her to an unknown home. Let's see here. She said she told him multiple times she was too drunk and said no. But again, so Peyton, now I want you to think about this too. This is interesting. This is, again, the power of white women's words and white women's tears. So you're saying that you repeatedly told him that you were too drunk and that he just, again, being a black man, because we know, Lord knows, black men are savages, right? We're just all complete savages. He still took you back and still apparently raped you within a 5-minute period while in the middle answering a text from his boy. Okay, but there's no evidence that y'all had sex, no nothing, no proof of that. To show you the power of the white woman's words and the white woman's tears, pay attention to this. Here you have somebody saying, here are all the details of what happened that night, and you need to take this as documented fact. I mean, enough documented fact that you can send this man to prison for 12 years. But on that night, I was so drunk that I could barely walk. But yet I'm giving you a complete detailed recollection of everything that happened the night I was too drunk to even walk, because my memory is perfect of what I did on the night I was too drunk to walk. How many people do you know will say, I was so drunk I could not walk, but yet I remember every single detail. I remember every single thing that happened, and you should believe me over people who are saying that something else occurred. Think about that. Process that. Let me keep going. So in the next few days, police talked to more people, according to the affidavit. The cousin told police that when the suspect and the victim got back to the bar, the 2 women left and she contacted a sorority sister trained to deal with sexual assault. As to how drunk the victim was, the cousin told police she was very intoxicated with very slurred and slow speech. Another man from the bar that night told police she was so intoxicated he had to hold her up at the bar to keep her from falling down. The woman contacted by the cousin told police she talked to the victim about 1:30 that morning and that the victim seemed disheveled and tired and appears to have been crying. She believed the victim had been drinking but did not seem intoxicated by then. So let me keep reading this. So this is more on the Free Albert Wilson website, freealbertwilson.com. So they got the mugshot in here. So in November 2017, following Wilson's preliminary hearing, Judge Sally Pokorny ordered him bound over a trial on 2 counts of rape, the original count from the allegation that he raped the teen at his home, and an additional count from the allegation that he lifted her skirt and assaulted her inside the bar without her consent. But again, the alleged rape occurred after he allegedly touched her when they were dancing. And so apparently she decided after he touched her to go home with him, but somehow the judge wanted to charge him with sexual assault. I just, I mean, it's hard to talk about this stuff because basically, again, anybody, the white feminists are pretty much wired to destroy black men. So they come after people like me. They come after people like me who ask logical questions. Like I'll come in and I'll be like, wait, you're saying that 2 + 2 is 85? No, last time I checked, 2 + 2 is 4. you're a sexist. No, I'm just saying 2 + 2 is 4, and you're saying 2 + 2 is 85. I know you got white woman's words and white woman's tears in your favor, but 2 + 2 is still 4, no matter how much you cry about it. And no, you're sounding really rapey. You're supporting rapists. No, I don't support rapists. I don't. If I meet a rapist on the street, I'll kick his ass. But I need you to understand 2 + 2 is still 4. That logic still matters, despite what you want the world to be. And so it becomes very difficult to even have these conversations, because I got called all kinds of horrible things when I wrote an article advising black men to be careful, because I don't want innocent black men to be falsely accused, which we know has happened thousands of times throughout American history. But yet somehow I had people coming at me as if somehow I was being anti-woman, or when I wasn't being anti-woman, I was being pro-truth. But the reason it didn't bother me that much was because I knew I had truth on my side. That they say the saying is that the truth is like a lion. You don't have to defend it. You let it loose and it can defend itself, right? So I just said, look, I'm going to speak the truth whether you like it or not. But what really flabbergasted me is when I saw a group of know-nothing, brainwashed Negroes. I'm talking about other black men who claim these guys walk around saying that they're feminists, right? They wrote this open letter. It's calling me these terrible, crazy names. Mark Anthony Neal, this guy at Duke who talks about how he's a feminist. The first thing he puts on his YouTube, actually on his Twitter account, is that I'm a feminist or something like, if I'm not mistaken, last time I checked. And this guy's leading the pack. And I'm like, brother, I tried to help you. I wanted to support you, and you're falling for this bullshit? You're going to attack another black man over something where people can't even prove what's really going on? Are you kidding me right now? I know you got to kiss a white man's ass to keep your job at Duke. I know you have to act like you agree and go along with whatever white agenda they put on your desk. That's fine, and I'm not going to mess with you for that. You playing the game. Good for you. But don't you dare come after an independent, free-thinking black man who's trying to do the right thing because you're trying to be a motherfucking feminist. Be a black man first, and then maybe later on, if you get down to it, you can be a feminist. It bothers me. It bothered me to the core that I have to deal with black men. And so the emotional side of me was pissed. The logical side of me was like, oh, I get it. Okay, it's white supremacy. They occupy the minds of black people. You got brainwashing in full effect. They control them with money, and therefore they know that by going along with this white liberal agenda and this nonsense, they're going to be able to get promotions and raises and all the things that black men like me don't get, right? And black men like me, we get torn down. Black men like them get raises and promotions, and they get book deals and shit. So fine, go do that shit. Go get what you want. I'm okay with that. But don't you dare try to come after black people who are trying to tell the truth. You do that, then you might as well be a Klansman. You might as well put on a white robe and a white hood, because you're doing more destructive than white people could ever do. Because you're legitimizing bullshit with your melanin. You're misusing your melanin by legitimizing racist bullshit. Because so anyway, let me keep going. So I'm not going to keep reading more. If you want to go to the website, you can go to freealbertwilson.com. I honestly, I'm emotionally drained from this story. I just took a nap, but I'm tired again, and I'm getting ready. I'm running a half marathon tomorrow, and so it's a very long run. But I'm really, really disturbed by this, and I'm looking at this, this website, and they're talking about how she said, like, a lot of the evidence that they use as well apparently is that they said she suffered post-traumatic stress disorder as a result of what she claims that she went through. But they're saying, so it's interesting. It's almost like when your boy, what's his name, Birth of a Nation guy, the guy who did Nate Parker, when they took down Nate Parker and they destroyed his movie, one of the things that they did was they said that, well, he must have raped this girl that accused him of rape, because she had all these psychological problems later on and eventually killed herself. So it's kind of like this whole, again, this is an American tradition. This whole, we're going to blame the black man. If a white person does something stupid, blame the black man, right? How many times have there been crimes committed where they went to the police and maybe they committed the crime, but they were like, oh no, it was a black man, right? I showed you guys the video. There was a video of a 3-year-old girl who was telling her mother lies about cookies. She was like, so who ate the cookies? She said, somebody broke in and ate the cookies. You didn't eat the cookies? She's like, no. And she's like, well, who came in and ate the cookies? And at the end, the little girl, I swear to God, the little 3-year-old girl goes, and it was a black man. And so children are trained on this at a very early age. There's something in the water, I don't know, but it's fascinating. So with this, what they're saying is that because she suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder, because she was going through these psychological issues, it is clear evidence that this means that she's telling the truth. And my thought is, wait a minute, she could be suffering PTSD for a lot of reasons. I bet you that this black man is going to have, if he doesn't have it now, he's going to have severe PTSD after he gets sent away to prison. I can tell you, the black man I met that goes to Stanford, who was falsely accused, he has PTSD. He said, I can't be in a room with white people anymore. I used to have a lot of white friends. He said, I got rid of my white friends because I'm scared that they're going to falsely accuse me of something. I did not know that they still did this to black people. So, you know, this case, I think, is one that we should fight on. If you live in Kansas, you know, please help the brother. And Art and Plumbing says, we agree. Please help that young brother out. Hopefully he gets free and becomes the best lawyer around. Thanks, Doc. Peace and respect. And thank you, Arden, for the donation. I appreciate that. And also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that money and I'm going to find a way that I can help. I did make a donation on freealbertwilson.com, which you guys are welcome to go to. I'm going to go and look into how I can also add additional support because this case breaks my heart. Again, I've read through tons and tons of information. I'm going to keep digging into it. I'm literally going to call my lawyer and ask her to investigate this for me. and all I'm looking for, all I'll be looking for is one thing: proof. I will be looking for proof. You know, because here's the thing: if there is no proof, that means that you ruined this young man's life because of he said, she said. And the bottom line is that you just don't do that. And to show you and to really exemplify for you the disproportionate power of that the white woman has over the black man, why the black man must be careful when he's alone with the white woman, not because I'm trying to be mean or nasty to white folks. This is just the truth. You have to be careful because the power imbalance is exemplified by cases like this. Think about this. Oh, in this case, a white woman goes into a room with a black man for 5 minutes alone and then comes out and says he raped me. And now he's going to prison for the next 12 years where he may get raped hundreds of times, right? Now, I want to ask you this question. Give me a yes or no. Somebody answer me, damn it. Don't just sit here and watch. Is there anything that I, as a black man, can accuse a white woman of doing to me and have no proof and get her sent to prison for 12 years? Is there anything I can do? Is there anything I can go say to at a police station that a white woman did to me that will get her sent to prison for the next 12 years, taken away from her family, locked up in chains, sent away to be raped hundreds of times, where I don't need any proof for my accusation? Tell me, damn it, tell me. What is there that I can say about a white woman right now? If I'm alone with her and we go into a room by ourselves and nobody's in there but us, and there's us and Jesus, and there's no proof, there's no cameras, no nothing, no DNA, no nothing, and I come out and I tell a story that will get her sent to prison for 12 years. You tell me what I can say about a white woman that will get her sent to prison for 12 years where I have no facts, no proof, no evidence, no nothing. There is nothing out there. That is about the clearest example. If I can't get it through the thick heads of the people that don't understand what I'm saying, that should get it through your thick motherfucking skull that you are in a war, and you are in a war where you are severely outgunned in many situations. Some of these brothers just don't see it because because a lot of times the predators come in cute little packages and they're smiling and they're acting friendly and you think, well, I don't want to be racially paranoid. People like Dr. Boyce Watkins are full of crap. I don't listen to guys like that because they're him and people like Farrakhan. They're just haters. They're racist. That's what they are. They're racist, right? But guess what? People like me and Farrakhan are the ones you end up calling. Farrakhan more so than me. He's been in the game much longer than me. Much props to him. But we're the people that you're calling when keeping it Becky goes wrong. When dealing with Becky done got you in some shit that you can't get out of. When the justice system comes and kicks you upside your head and is about to take away your life and you have no other options. People only go to other black folks. They only go to black people like us when shit really gets bad. You know, I've seen it a million times. That person who believes that white people are fine, all white peoples ain't bad, and you just too paranoid, and you're too racial, and they stay away from you. That's what I said. When I was in Syracuse, I had black faculty that would be scared to talk to me, right? Because they're like, well, I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to lose my job, right? But as soon as something goes bad, they trying to call up somebody like me. And so I'm just trying to say that at the end of the day, the reason that it takes them so long to understand it is because you're lied to in the first place. You're fed a bunch of lies as a child, and you grow up believing that America's fun and fair and good, and then you end up in some shit where you find out that America ain't changed that much, that we live in the same society that we lived in 50, 100 years ago. And also, I'm telling you from a political standpoint, be careful about supporting that Democratic Party if they're supporting this Me Too nonsense. The Me Too movement is hitting people like Joe Biden now. And I think even they're kind of like, whoa, wait, you need evidence to accuse someone. Well, no. Y'all motherfuckers wanted to get into this shit where people can just say anything about anybody and take somebody down. Well, now you've given people a weapon that you can't recall. You can't pull that weapon back now that you put it in the hands of some people, some of whom are crazy, some of whom are malicious, some of whom are opportunists who will use that weapon and shoot you in the face with it. So if you want to ask me who I'm voting for in the next election, the answer is nobody who supports the Me Too shit. I'm not supporting any candidate that is going to elevate the probability of my demise as a black man in this country, or elevate the chances that a black man is going to get sent to prison for nothing. Because y'all know good and damn well that this case is bullshit. And anybody who disagrees with me, I challenge you to do one thing, one basic fundamental thing. This ain't even hard. Go get me some evidence. Show me some proof. If you ain't got no proof, then you ain't got no nothing. So my heart goes out to this brother, Albert Wilson. The website is freealbertwilson.com. Please investigate it. Please share this video. Please tell other people about it. I apologize if I got emotional about it. I don't even know if that is a good look or a bad look for me. I really don't care. But this stuff burns me up, and I just want to warn you to keep your son safe. Like give them the real, just give them the real deal so that they won't put themselves in vulnerable situations. I know that people think, I know white folks get scared and they think something's wrong with me, and I'm a terrible person because I say what's on my mind. But I got to do this. I mean, somebody's got to be honest about this shit. And our boys are being led down this death march, and they don't even know it. They don't even know when they're being sucked into a situation where they could lose everything. So so thank you guys for supporting me, because if you guys didn't have my back, I literally have nobody. White folks ain't a white person hardly on this planet. Maybe 1% of white people could watch this video and not walk away pissed off and offended. So I have very few white friends. Maybe a couple overseas. Maybe there's a couple in here. But for the most part, white people are not going to ride with me at all. And a lot of black people ain't going to ride with me. So those of you who are in here, I want to just say from the bottom of my heart, thank you. You saved my life. You helped me feel safe, because I also, as a black man, have PTSD that comes from the fact that I too have seen situations where I was being mistreated and I didn't feel like I had anybody there to help me. So we got to have each other's back. I want to have your back, and I love you guys. And I'm just getting emotional about it. I'm not gonna cry, because I don't know. I'm just thinking about this poor kid, man. I mean, I'm sorry, guys. I gotta go. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go. It just makes me mad, man. It's just. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cry. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta go. Have a good day. I'm gonna refocus, and we're gonna end this conversation. The website is freealbertwilson.com, and I'm going to help this man. I'm going to do what I can to help this brother out, because this is crazy, man. I can't imagine. 23 years old. Oh God. All right, guys. I'll check in. I'll probably check in tomorrow. I'm gonna go run this race. So have a good day, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. I'll see you guys soon. Take care.